I tried streaming. I'm sorry. It didn't work out. My upload was too poo, so you know what? I guess this is the next best thing. Oh, I know it's not. Like, it's one of those goofy things, so I'm having a hard time coming up with things to do for some of these. And I think part of my problem is I'm just getting, like, so. But anyway, um, so I was browsing around looking for stuff, and it's like someone was asking about, oh, migrating their data from to a bigger SSD, or basically storage media. Period. This kind of works like across the board. This is basically how I kept my same install of Arch or Artix without having to change anything, but also upgrading to my NVMe SSD. So if we look at what I currently have in here, my NVMe is right here. And so the way I had it before is I would basically have to switch out hard drives or normal drives basically in order to pseudo dual boot between Windows and Linux. But now I don't have to do that because I have an M.2 SSD that is 2 terabytes. So the drive that I went from before was a 1 terabyte, and the one that I have now, of course, is about 2 terabytes. And I'm actually looking at getting a new one. And so the process I use to actually migrate is actually really, really simple. It's actually very similar to what you'd do with like flashing an SD card. So if I grab one, so basically what you do, so I will actually pop in an SD card that I have ready that is basically ready to flash in essence. And so you can see that MMC BLK0 comes up. And that is basically what the volume that I would plan on flashing to. And so if you used DD before, the process is very, very similar. So if I go and look for, do I have post market? Yes, I do. 2021-003. So if I go sudo, so you can see it basically fills in all the same. So the main part that you're going to be worried about is this IF and this OF flag. So in the case of AO, when you're migrating between disks, what you would do is, if it were me migrating disks, so let's say I've got SDA, my whole SDA drive that I want to move to the new drive. In that IF flag, I'd basically go dev SDA and then over to the OF. If my target were like, let's just keep it at the MMC, the SD card. And so I would send the OF to that target. So in the case, for example, if I wanted to do it to the NVMe drive, it would be /NVMe0N1 is what I would put in there instead of like the dev/mmcblk0. So I don't remember what. Okay. So, and then basically I would run the command from DD with my original drive to the one that I want to send it to. And then I can go and it will basically it'll flash it over. In this case, I'm flashing an image to an SD card, but the same process applies to flashing from one drive to another. because DD will take that input from your original drive and bring it over the exact same stuff to the new drive, and it'll basically work out of the box just fine. Like, I didn't have to do any changing to my FS tab or anything when I switched it over. And when I get around to doing it again, I will basically follow the same process. The only thing that you'll notice is that it'll only flash the size of the volume over. So you will have to go in and expand the size of your volumes or your partitions, or move them around and play with those so that it fills up the rest of the space. And so I'll give this time to flash and then come right back. Okay, so it got done pretty quick. So the next thing you want to do is you'll go into some sort of F-disk or partitioning tool, whether that be G-parted, standard F-disk, or CF-disk in this case is what I'm going to use. And you'll basically put the location of your new drive in. So like that same drive that you had in the OF flag here, you'll basically put that in for the volume that you want to mess with in here for CF disk, or you'll look for it in G-parted, whatever. And you see that we have this free space open here. This is our main partition, so what we would do normally, I'm not going to do it like right it here, but you would basically go in. It'll ask you for the new size of the partition if this is your home folder, or if you want to move things around, you still have that availability. So come on, buddy. So you can see it shows that it's resized. I believe there should be a way that you can move things around and make more free space, but you would basically go in and tell it to write the partition table, and then you could quit. Whichever application if you are using a certain application, you probably know how to do it, I would hope, or you understand like where you can find how to do it. Most of them are pretty simple. They like G-parted, you'll basically lay out your partitions and resize them, and then you'll like click the check mark or whatever to write the partition table. But other than that, that's basically the process for like moving to a new SSD from an old one. And you can do that with just about anything. Like I said, I mean, your mileage may vary in having to change some of your stuff in like FS tab and whatnot, but I was basically able to like keep running right out of the gate. And then after that, I was able to run like OS probe for grub, and I can actually boot the Windows drive from grub without having to go into the bootloader to select which one I want to boot to. So I can dual boot between the two and go into play Halo on occasion and whatnot when I feel like it. Other than that, it's like, yeah. I'm just hoping that I can move my NVMe, my M.2 solid state drive, to the new laptop that I plan on getting. So if you found this helpful, and I mean, you're one of those people, or you were that person that made that Reddit post, then like, you know, feed the algorithm, that kind of a thing. I've got like my cool like shill links and all in the description and whatnot, and I will see you guys later.